Hello? Hello? Anyone out there? Anyone out there? Anyone at all? Anyone at all? Hey, Micah, how's it going? Grab your brews. Hey, what's up, buddy? Still waiting on that game offer if you want to do a trade or something. My beer of choice today. I just got my vaccinations for flu and coronavirus, and they told me to drink beer to make sure to cleanse my bloodstream. So I didn't do it yesterday, unfortunately, but I wanted to join you guys today for one. And Super Junk, aka Austin, is gonna come live with me and do a unboxing. So cheers to him and to tonight. Let me grab this. Oh, it's so good when it first hits your lips. It's just so great. How are you doing?
Yo, what's going on?
Man, what's going on?
You drinking? What's up, man?
Oh, you got a beer?
I don't. I wish I did. I've got a Mountain Dew today.
That's just as good. Mountain Dew Zero. That's the good shit right there.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy a drink here or there, but once I hit 30, like if I drink during the weeknights, I'm just like gone in the morning. So Mountain Dew's
Well, there's a solution for that. Just don't wake up in the morning.
fair enough. I don't know if you got a job, but I got a job. I got to pay for games somehow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forget. I'm the only person my age who actually still sleeps till noon. Well, in fairness, I work till like 5 most nights, so it's kind of crazy. But
Is it so? Do you have a day job, or is games mostly what you're up to?
these days, this games and toys is all I do.
That's awesome. That's the dream. Yeah, yeah. I got a
Yeah,
regular now.
I worked on Wall Street for 15 years and got laid off right before uh, um, coronavirus hit and COVID hit, and all the jobs went away and became virtual, which is not good for my attention disorder. So, like, trying to do stuff virtually is like basically impossible for me. I have no idea how I would go back at this point. So,
No, I hear you, man. Yeah, like even now, I work remotely from home all day, and it's just like it's fine, but like I'm like doing shit like this all day, where I'm just like on camera talking to people, and it's just like I'd rather be out there, meeting
my
people.
wife's that way, and I literally don't know how she does her job because I would be in an hour every day. I would just be gone. Like
Yeah,
I'd be off like doing like stuff around the house. Like I don't even know what I would be doing, but I would find like crazy ass stupid shit to do with my time. So
no, that's the problem. Like I've got
somebody
super
else
bad
requested to be in
ADD.
here. I didn't mean to ignore anybody. Oh, hey, stop calling me professional drunk, dude. Dude, I like to have a beer on camera because it's fun and because that way I'm not drinking by myself. I didn't go on camera last night, so I couldn't have a beer. So
No, man, yeah. Well, sometimes I'll get a beer or something. Maybe we'll do one of these on the weekend or something. But I got
yeah.
a big meeting tomorrow morning too, which kind of sucks. But
No, more power to you. I don't drink on weekends because I'm with my kids. I don't go out because I don't have time, and I mean I go out during the day but not to drink, obviously. And the rest of the time, it's like this is honestly the only chance I really get to drink, and I really only in the month of like September and October. I mean November, like the fall month when Oktoberfest is out, and that's my favorite beer, which is everything I've been drinking the last couple,
yeah, yeah,
so I'm a big fan of Oktoberfest, but then come like December when all the winter IPAs and everything come out, I'm done. I'm good
yeah.
for like another 6 months.
Well, you're up in New York, right?
I'm out on the island, Long
Okay.
Island.
Yeah, yeah. I'm down in Texas, and they've got some good breweries and stuff here. But like
They
my
do.
my in-laws are from Buffalo. They just moved down here, but I've gone up there like every year for the last few years, and there's some really like good stuff up in New York. Like Texas, it's like in the autumn, like things are brown because things are just dead from the summer being so hot. But like you go
Yeah.
up and you go to a brewery and it's like 60 degrees and like have a nice beer. It's like perfect up in Buffalo, upstate New York.
Yeah, no, I actually spent some time in Texas, and there's Shiner Bock, I believe, is from
Yeah,
Texas,
Shiner's a
Texas,
big
if
one.
I'm not mistaken. That's a great beer, and they have a beer scene. I'm sure erupting a little bit like everywhere else, but obviously, like the Northeast just has a ton of microbrews. Really, within the last 5 or 10 years, 10 years, no, 10 or 15 years. I'm just getting old.
Yeah.
10 or 15 years.
Yeah, and something y'all have, like we don't have Wegmans here. Like, I don't know, do you have Wegmans in Long Island, or is it somewhere else? Grocery store.
No, no, I've been there. I know the name, but no, I don't think I've seen one.
Anyway, it's
It's
a
funny
grocery
because
store.
sometimes I've lived enough places that some of the grocery stores get like, mixed up. Like, there was King Supers out in like Colorado. There's like, um, shit, Publix in certain place, like to the south, I guess. But we
Yeah.
don't really have Publix up in the north for some reason.
Yeah, I just bring up Wegmans because that's up there in Buffalo. I think they're in other places in New York, but like they've got this really awesome like build a six pack thing. And
You
so
don't
like
hear, someone said they don't hear sound. I hear sound fine. Is anybody else not able to hear us at all? Because I hear them fine.
I think it might be on their end. A few other people were trying to help.
This is the reason why I don't like Instagram though, because it's so shoddy. They can't they stopped one of my streams recently, like midstream, because they wanted to update my software.
Yeah, I mean Instagram's not totally built for this kind of thing, like long-term conversations, but
Well, it sounded good. So if somebody else is having problems with it, then I guess watch it back on replay. I don't know what to do, but we literally don't have any other solutions. So sorry, man. Okay.
but
Do you want
anyways,
to open something?
yeah, so I've got a couple games. So I know you've had some pretty awesome heavy hitter guests on. Like most of my stuff is PC, so hopefully people are interested in that.
Oh,
I
I love PC. I love PC.
Awesome. Yeah. So so I've got 5 games here. One of them got rejected, and we can talk about that. Also, for people
Awesome.
interested in some of the PC
That's a
stuff.
gr- that honestly, the rejections are the most informative for people. So even though we take the loss, which I've done on several occasions, like if you could share it and help other people prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and I've got some information too. The really interesting thing why I love so like my window is kind of like 93 to like now. Like so like I grew up. PC was like my first. I'm not really console, right?
93.
Um, and
You were like
so
the end of all the series that I loved, like King's Quest,
I know.
Space
That's why I
Raiders.
thought this was going to
You
be a
had
fun
like the fifth or
conversation.
sixth one or whatever. You wouldn't have been there for the. I wasn't. In fairness, I wasn't there for the first one either. I was there like the third or fourth.
Yeah, yeah. So like my niche was PC. I mean, I collect everything, but it's like 90s shooters. Um, I played PC
Doom
first.
and
Doom, Quake, and there'll be some of that today to talk about. Yeah.
Mist.
Um, Mist, awesome. Yeah, I got a Mist up there, but yeah. So like stuff that I sent in that we got back from VGA is mostly related to that. So you have something to open too? Do we want to kind of go back and
I
forth?
do. I have a couple small boxes. I've got two boxes that look like this. They're not super
Okay.
big. I think there's 2 or 3 items. I don't remember, but I figured I'd let you go first because you have more stuff than I do, and
Yeah.
you're more interesting anyway.
So I've got some stuff, and then if we want to keep going, I've got some like really pretty for PC, pretty high end stuff that I'm going to send in if y'all are interested in seeing that. But we can start
Yeah,
with
I think everybody wants to see that.
okay, cool.
EGA denies authentic games sometimes too, so it's not always a loss, just a waste of gravy. Well, and that's a really good point that I want to touch on too, is because when VGA denies something, they don't give you a refund for the encapsulation
I
cost,
want to
which
talk about that. Yeah, yeah. Also, because
that's a
they did some
big
pretty
deal, and
dirty
that's
stuff.
really freaking annoying. And at least Wada does that without asking them to do so.
Yeah. Well, and get this. So I'll kind of bury the lead here. But with this game, they upcharged me because of the size, and then they rejected it. So not only did I get rejected,
If you
which is,
say something, they'll give you the upcharge back. But like, you shouldn't have to say something to get the upcharge. You shouldn't have to say something to get any of it back. I mean, obviously they got to keep some amount for their time, But on these big box games, they can be 150, $200 depending on the size and whether you get, UV protected and
Well,
stuff.
yeah,
That's
these are all like, because I paid for the fastest. This is also my first VGA submission, so I sent these in at the middle of April, right? And this was my first VGA. So Greg Dillon, right? I had to get him on the line just to show me how to figure out the form to send in. So I
the
sent these
form
in.
is disgusting. It's embarrassing for them that they make us go through this process, because at the end of the day, I'm sure whatever you send in, they toss out and reprice and do whatever the hell they want anyway.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and it sucks for PC collectors, especially because it's not like we can go to WATA or CGC, like CAS. I know you've been talking about that, but I mean, there's really not that many options.
There are literally no other options, and that's why I've been talking about CAS, because we've been treated, and I know this is not just me, I know this is other people. Basically, everyone I've ever spoken to has a VGA story where they've gotten screwed. And some people just say, oh, it's just part of their business and write it off. I probably did for the first 10 times too, but it's been like 40 times now. And I'm getting really tired of being screwed. I give them a lot of freaking money, and for what? And they, to put toys in plastic.
I know, right? Yeah, and maybe that's a good conversation for another day too, because I'm pretty new to the scene. I started field collecting in about 2020, and I collected so much stuff before that, but the worst part about it is I used to. Do you know the CU podcast? That's Pat's podcast, right? The NES Punk. I listened to his.
Okay,
podcast.
sure.
I missed out on so much because I listened to him for the first couple of years where he was against, and I was like, man, this is so stupid. But then, I've got graded cards and everything. I was like, why did I even? And I missed so many great opportunities.
If you used to listen to him, do you remember when he talked about meeting me? I'm just curious.
I don't know if I mean, I probably do. He at the time I didn't know who he was.
When he started talking, when he really started laying into sealed games was, in 2019. And at that point during the summer of 2019, I went to the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, and I set up next to the guy. So it's me and this guy, and I don't know him. I was not Nintendo age, so I didn't know anyone from Nintendo age. I didn't know anybody in the circuit. I knew Bucky, and I knew Jedi Sam. That was the extent of my network back then. And I had all these graded games, and I was selling on eBay, and for a while at that point. And I went to the expo, and I sat next to him, and we're in this corner right next to each other. So we had to talk, and I actually thought he was a pleasant guy.
Yeah. He gives me that kind of aura that he'd be two-faced, kind of like that.
But he actually, of all the people, shortly after that, he went on, he started his crusade against Danielle because I guess she got in his face or something, whatever. But he hasn't let that go for 2 years now. And he said some nice things about me, surprisingly, because we had a kind of a nice debate between the two of us. And what I took away from it was he originally had an NWC cart, and right. he had a sealed, a qualified Gyromite set. No, not Gyromite set, Rob the Robot set that had Gyromite and Duck Hunt sealed inside of them. He asked me, he was like, well, what do you think these might be worth? And I'm like, what? So I know he's got a following, and I know he does his shit for his following, but I also know he's a normal person, and he sees dollar signs like everybody else, and is like, okay, I don't think he's sold. He might have, but I don't think he's sold. But I know he was telling me he'd been offered $40,000 for it. So I don't think he's that different than anybody else. I just think he has a following who really, really likes it when he trashes sealed games.
He's got that following, and I'm not a psychologist, but one thing that so I collected.
Pat, we're talking about Pat the NES Punk.
Yeah, I collected Pokemon forever. My wife and I, we had a YouTube channel, and we'd open it. This was way back in 2015 and before that, and so we had some pretty high end stuff before Pokemon popped off, right? And but I didn't. I was like, I'm just not going to do the grading thing, right? And so yes, so I missed out on so many opportunities to have more than I have. And part of me wonders, if there's just a piece of him that's like, well, I've been in this so long and I missed out on this thing that was right in front of
100%.
me, and now I've dug my feet in and I can't change my audience. Like I'd lose my audience now too, you know?
Listen, he could totally have a secret collection too that we don't know about. He's
Yeah.
potentially, I don't know what his followers truly is. I don't know how much money he makes from it. I don't know what kind of his financial status. But supposing that he had excess money, where might he put that money? Even if he can't publicly talk about it. Like, I'm not saying I know this to be true, but like, I'm just saying it would make a lot of sense. I mean, listen, one of the biggest quote perceived haters of graded gaming's, Carl, is also one of the biggest collectors now. Not one of the biggest collectors, but he's a avid collector because he loves
Right.
games and that's where he wants to be. And I mean, a lot of people are asking me, they're like, well, the market's down. What do you think we should do? You think we should dump here? You think it's going to go lower? I'm like, honestly, I think the fact of the matter is that, like, the fact that people still show up and put $100,000 or $200,000 towards a game, $1,000 towards games repeatedly is a fact. It's just a testament to how much desire there is to own these gems of like history. And I personally don't think I think any one game can go higher or lower right now, but I don't think we're pushing lower at this point. I don't see a change from the last 3 months. 3 months ago, it was shitty. Today, it's shitty. But, like, I don't see it going lower. I just see it being, like, kind of like these shitty times. Like, but in a shitty time, you can also buy stuff, which is great.
Right.
You know?
That's what because I definitely like the biggest thing I hate about this hobby the most is people gatekeeping how people collect, right? And so,
I know.
like for me, I don't have anything against buyers and sellers, but like for me, I just collect for the most part.
Everyone is a buyer and seller because everyone has a price that they would buy at, and everyone has a price that they would sell at.
Yeah,
That's true of everyone. Every single person has a price that if you offer it to them for $1, they'll take it for $1. If
yeah,
you could sell it for $100,000, they will sell it for $100,000. Every single person has a price.
yeah, that's totally true.
And
But
to say
but
that's
like
otherwise, that's just lying to everyone, lying to yourself, lying to everyone, right?
yeah, 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 I see Kyle saying, yeah, this is, and
It is.
that's really too like I'm not trying to blow stuff as anyone's ass. That's what I really like about your conversations and what I like about what Dylan is doing with streams, because like there are different types of hobbies, right? There are hobbies where you're bettering yourself, like you're carving wood or you're getting better at a skill, and those communities are really supportive. And then there's
Supportive.
hobbies where
Yes.
we're buying stuff, where the fun of it is the hunt, right? And it's a lot more gatekeepy, and the knowledge is a lot less free flowing.
Free.
And so,
Yeah. Well, that's why
yeah,
we're here to change that, right? Like, if anybody wants to ask questions, they can come here, and I won't judge you for even the dumbest question. If we joke about it, it's all in fun. But like, I would never make fun of anybody for asking a question. Now, Mr. Martins, what are you talking? You're
but
asking Dylan to come on?
anyways, we got
What are we
everything.
buying? What are we selling? Okay, he's going to show us what he just bought, and I will show after
I think
that what
that's
I
the
just
revenue
bought.
before me. But yeah, I'll pull out a game here. So I had to open these up a little bit just to get them ready, but
Yeah, I know Dylan, but what are you talking about, Dylan? Like, he's not here. You know this isn't Dylan, right?
are you talking to me or are you talking to the chat?
No, Chad. He said he's talking about Dylan, but I'm hoping he doesn't think that you're Dylan. Dylan is Get the Greg Games, in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I don't know. I missed part of the conversation, so I'm just out of it. Let's just keep going because I can respond like wrongly to comments all night. But
So here's the first
Dylan
one.
has the Discord. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So first one here is a System Shock 2. This is a VGA 85. So this came out, this is like the end of the 90s, 1999. This is, Bioshock precedes or before Bioshock, right? Like it kind of that
Nice.
system can be. And what's really interesting about this copy of System Shock, there's nothing, I just live knowing this, but I bought this so every now and then John Romero right, creator of Doom with John Carmack, he will put his games up on eBay. And this is directly from John Ramiro's collection. I
Whoa,
don't
nice.
have anything
Did
other
he
than the
give you any
receipt.
kind of? Oh, he didn't give you anything. You should print out like the
I have the
eBay
printout,
purchase.
yeah.
Put it
But
on
at
the
the
back,
time, I
and
didn't
then
really know, like, if VGA did anything like that. And, you know, if it was WADA, that would be maybe a conversation. But VGA, I can't even talk to anyone, as far as I know.
I think it was. I think I saw CAS recently encapsulated a toy with the receipt, original receipt next to it. And it was probably the cool. I will try to share this out if I can find it again. It's probably one of the coolest things that I've seen done, because anytime that I have any kind of documentation that relates to the item itself, it absolutely should be encapsulated. Like, that shit is so cool to me. I'm getting nerdy again.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind then. Yeah, I still have the thing, so
Yes, send it. You know, if I can find it, I'll post it, and I would definitely consider, you know, sending it back to, you know, someone to. I mean, maybe AFA will do it now, but you'd have to wait a year for it to come back anyway. So
yeah. And so yeah, and also with this PC stuff, I've made so many mistakes. There's just like not that much documentation. So if anybody has questions about some of the stuff, what I spent, what you know,
PC's
versions or
so hard to
whatever,
understand. Nothing,
it's
no
crazy.
information on PC. Like, nothing out there.
Yeah,
In fact, I see where this market here is probably one of the most knowledgeable guys I know in the PC world, and has virtually every game I've ever seen, and then a lot of games I haven't seen, games that I haven't even imagined. So hit him
yeah.
up, but he was really.
I don't know if he knows, but like I have literally gone back and watched his on VGA unboxings like 4 or 5 times just to learn. In fact, I have something today that I learned from one of his things that I'll show in a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah, do you have something you want to open?
Yeah, I'll open this. I mean, mine's gonna go quickly because like I said, I only have one or two things today. Um, but you know, the opportunity to go live with you was too good to pass up. So you know, here we are.
Right on.
Thank you for joining me, by the way. I'll just say in advance.
What was that? Sorry,
Okay.
you cut out for a second.
What is this? Oh, okay. As usual. Oh my God. Okay, let me see if I can show this. So this is a bunch of turtles.
Oh shit.
Because I just can't stop myself at this point. So we got stuff like, yeah, I mean, this line is like, I hadn't even heard this line, and now for some reason, like, I have to have this. This is so cool, though. I wish I'd had this growing up, actually. This is the Wacky Action line. And these mops were so nice, I was like, and it's just so much fun to grab this stuff when it's, like, cheap as fuck. It's just like, even if it doesn't go up much, it doesn't matter. It's just so cheap. And it's so awesome.
Yeah, are
Like,
those
you know,
so? Are they great? So you're cutting out for me. Is it? Are you cutting out for anybody else, or is it just me?
there's time lag with this thing.
Okay. Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out.
But anyway, these are, you can get these graded for, you know, a couple $100 in nice condition. I mean, you can get an 85 of this one probably around $600, which is like, an 85 is kind of like the nicest you're gonna get. This one's really nice. I don't know how this is gonna
Yeah,
grade, but
I think you're cutting out for everybody.
D-Rob is cutting out. Let's try this. I just turned on my Wi-Fi,
Let us know.
so am I still cutting out?
A little bit, but let's see if
All right, maybe it's me.
here.
Can you
Can you
hear
hear
me?
me? There we go. Okay. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Was
Yeah,
I?
you're
I was cutting out bad. All right.
you're cutting out, but So
You
we
gotta
saw
love
some blurry turtles, and that's it.
you gotta love Instagram though. This wasn't happening with Whatnot the other night.
Fair enough. But yeah, so what you had again? Because like I think we all missed it, unless nobody
Oh,
cares, but
okay.
I do.
So these are the this is the wacky action line, and
Okay.
these all did stuff like this is sewer swimming. So I think you would actually put this in water, and the thing would
Okay.
swim. So
That's
really
pretty
cool, and
cool.
it's a really minty card. So this is an early one too. Like a lot of people don't realize this. This is actually so. This is a what? Like there's 10 on this side, four. This is like a 16 or 18 back or something. Anyway, this is a pretty. I think it's 91, 89 on this guy. So really nice condition for a 1989 toy.
Like how like turtles are insane to me. Like they're so cool, but I just missed that. Like how many different like you're always showing me different variations, like wacky universal monsters, like how
I
many
think there's
different
like maybe 150 different characters. I could be way off, but I'm not. I'm not way off. I could be off by 100 or something. Like maybe 250. I mean, if you include the vehicles, there's a lot of vehicles. But I mean, they're just like I was saying before. I don't know if anybody heard, but like you can get the mocks really cheap, like this. You can get a graded one of these. 85 is really the best you can hope for in any character. Once in a
yeah.
while, you'll see an 85 plus, but really, it's not like games. Like you get an 85 though of one of these, probably $600-700 right now at most. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. It's a 1989 figure that really shouldn't have been saved once again, and you're getting it, graded for that little. Like that's a cool thing to me. That's why I'm just enjoying it because I can go up and it like if I'm getting, I think I got all 9 of these for a few $100,
Mhm.
and it's great because like I can get them graded. If they grade high, then they'll be worth a little bit more. If they grade low, then they're so be it. But like there's it's like everything else, it's also about like preserving stuff. Like it's really hard to get clear bubble on anything. So
Mhm.
to like have something come in that's you know as clear as the day created is from 1989. It's really cool.
No, yeah, I had been thinking about collecting some, and I've got some here if we want to pull them out after the games. But
I do.
I saw you pull your stuff out and with the grade, and I was like, oh no. But it's just the same. It's the same thing where it's like you can drop hundreds, thousands on games, and it's like you got to have something that you can just you know enjoy that's cheaper. So
I know it's similar to PC stuff because PC stuff is all over the board, right? And like you can get PC stuff really cheap, or you can spend a really shitload of money. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't spend a shitload of money, but like you can get a lot of shit really cheap.
yeah, and PC is really fun for me because people don't know what they have. So like it's what I imagine it was like a couple of years ago with older boxed games, console games. People just don't know. Like so,
2017 for sure. 2018
yeah,
most of the year. 2019 people were starting to get wise because there was news out there. We see it started hitting the news. That was big.
the Mart, yeah. So here's another one. This one, a lot, I don't know how many people will appreciate this one, but this is an 85 plus
Redneck Rampage.
Mega Rampage. So there's actually, I know there's at least 2 US versions of this. This is one of them. I actually don't, I have both of them, but this was the one that I sent in just because it was nicer.
Look at that beautiful big box too. That thing is massive.
This
Turn it
to
to the
me,
side, please. Oh man, look at that sexy wideness. That's thick right there, right there. Yeah,
so
that's nice
like
right there.
like my jam with PC games, like more than anything else, is the build engine games. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's basically it was an engine that was around. I think in like 95, 96, it came out. It was kind of right after Doom, Duke Nukem, 3D Blood, Redneck Rampage, Shadow Warrior. Those were like the big four. And so this
Duke
is
Nukem was awesome. I love Duke Nukem.
yeah, this one is like the bastard stepchild of those three. Blood, Shadow Warrior, and Duke 3D were like the big ones. So I had to get this. And then I don't know. Some people have already seen this, but this is like my grail that I had picked up. I can't even show this. This has
Oh my God.
the three build engine like class.
Are
Like
they
my
actually
favorite is the,
attached to each other?
so yeah, which is crazy, right? Like
So
blood
you got to back it
shadow.
up. I got to see that shit.
That's so big.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's like the reason why I collect this shit like this.
yeah, it's insane. And like for fans of classic shooters, especially the '90s ones, like this is just insane that this exists. Like they were not all published. I think they were all GT Interactive. Duke Nukem, I don't know if that was or not. Duke Nukem was 3D Realms, right? But like they're all like it would be like if you got like Donkey Kong 64, Mario 64, and like Kirby, whatever the Kirby one was, together in like a 3-pack
Dude,
for
that's
N64.
insane. That's insane. The
Um,
only thing I have that's that big is that right there.
the is that the Carnage or
No,
the
well,
Cap?
the carnage is in front of it. I'm talking about the Snake Mountain behind it. I think I showed that recently.
That thing is huge too. That one has a lot of
Man,
like, yeah. But
that's really thick. That's too thick for me because I'm like scared of breaking that all the time.
it's crazy too because if you're not used, that was like one of my first VGA big box. If you're not used to it, I didn't realize the bigger the back of the VGA cases, you can kind of push it in. I thought it was
Yeah.
broken.
Now it won't snap unless you do it unless you really press it, and it won't. I've tried to break these things because I tried to break into one of them before,
Yeah,
just to like show how easy it was. It wasn't easy, so it won't snap, but like it can chip, crack, or break in some way so easily, and then you're 10 months out again.
and I was it you that was talking? They're not even going to do anything. You're just going to have to resubmit.
Oh yeah, no, this is what I show all the time. This was in my last shipment. I buy 70. I do 70 games from 50 to 70 games from them at a time, and this is how one of them came back. Everything else was fine, but look, it actually pierced. It broke the box,
That's sad. Rip.
and not only did I not get my grading feedback for it, they like no insurance claim, no nothing, like no apology, not even a fucking apology.
That's the worst. That's brutal. Yeah.
I'm like, the box was fine. Everything else in the box was fine. This one game was broken. They offered to recase it for me. I'm like, recase it? The fucking thing is pierced.
Were they going to regrade it, or no? Or I guess you probably didn't even ask.
They would. I guarantee they would have regraded and given it like a 60. And I'm like, why am I going to send this back to you? You know, I was like, you know what? Keep my extra, $100 or whatever that you're just basically stealing from me for like offering me back for like the grading fees. Keep the extra $100 and I'm just going to stop using you. Like, so fuck them. I might like that kind of shit is like, they've done worse. They've done even worse than that to me before too. Like I could go into story after story. In fact, I wanted to show, you know what, this is a good time to get into this. I've been thinking about sharing this for a while and I still have it up. I want to show this. This is really important because I think that people have it twisted. So, Nintendo Player, this is a whole investigation that was done years ago, an investigation into the Video Game Authority. There is so much, like, you talk about, like, the stuff that Wada was alleged of doing, they did all of it.
So what, is this like a legal thing? Like, what is that?
Yeah, this is a nice, like, 2-hour read. And I sincerely suggest that everybody read this. This talks about the creation of Action Figures Authority, AFA, and VGA, and this is a whole. Everything in here is public record, and I'm telling you, you gotta read this. The website is NintendoPlayer.com, feature VGA, and I'll try to post this later. But this is the toy company that the owner used to list his own games on, toys on. Same shit that people.
Like they got the geolocation going on and everything. Holy
I mean,
shit.
same shit that VG that Wada was accused of, and that's the thing that's fucked up though, is because Wada told me that they didn't want to be like VGA, so they were going to do everything differently, and then they did the same. They made the same exact mistakes, and I kind of feel like every grading company is going to make the same mistake because every grading company wants to sell their own shit, and it's a conflict of interest. But every company that's ever been created, I'm sure PSA did it. I'm
Dude,
sure.
and it just sucks so bad with like the big box stuff because it's like I've got bins of stuff here that I have to send in and they're the only option, right? And so I know you and I have talked about this over some DMs before, but like I just hate the allegiance people have. Like these companies work for us. Like we are their
Yes,
customer. And so
we
when
are the
I had
customer.
an
We're
order,
giving them our money.
right. So like I had an order out at WADA for years, or not years, but a year plus. And I wasn't against WADA, but I was very heavy in my critique of them. And they finally got my games back, and since then they've been great. I
Yeah,
tried PGA now, and I've got a little bit of a bone to pick just because of how long they took and how little clarity there was in the process. And like I think it's okay for us to be upset with them while still being productive members of the hobby. You know, it's like it's okay.
I
You
like
paid us
WADA a
money.
lot more than I do now than I did in the past.
Same.
I I love them when they came out in the
Yes.
sense that like I love what they brought to the hobby in terms of passion. There was nobody more passionate than Dennis and Kenneth about what they were doing, right?
Right.
But even in blind passion, and I'm not blaming either of them, but I'm saying a lot of shit got fucked up. Dennis isn't the CEO and hasn't been the CEO for a very long time. Like,
Yeah.
also there's heads of operations. There's lots of people that play into all the fuckery that we have to deal with. And so now they're doing well. We give them credit, but don't be mad don't be mad when you're not doing well if we want to talk about it. And if you're VGA and you're fucking everyone sideways like this, like don't be mad if we want to go go and talk about it. I mean, I feel like that's my duty, or that's my responsibility to you guys, is like to tell you my honest feelings, because you can get bullshit from anywhere. Like if you
Agreed.
want the real opinion, like I don't hold back. Like I tell you what's going on, and you either like it or you don't. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm here to like give people the honest truth.
Yeah, in reality, we are looking out for each other, right? There's the companies and then there's the customers. Like
That's right.
this is the dialogue that should happen, you know. But I'm sure people want to see more stuff. Did you got anything
All
else to
right.
show?
Yeah. Here's a in April. This is a Halloween, I think, like kind of release of April, where she had like
That's
done up
April.
her hair. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's not games," but you know what? This shit's cool, and you can like. I'm not saying anybody has to like it, but this is what I got today.
No, I'm into it. I'm into it. Uh, so I've got an interesting one here that Inazuma A Few Games. He was in the chat. He and I kind of learned about this one together. I think I'm actually seeing this too and wondering. Okay, so this is a VGA 80
Ooh,
of Quake.
it's
Now
nice.
this is I have another copy of Quake we can pull over sealed. This was the first one that I obtained, and something that we kind of found out on the Discord and talking about it is that this is actually the second print of this game. So
How do
you can
you
tell
know?
that you can tell that because there's this fully registered text here, right?
Okay.
And that will be on the other side for the first print. And
Okay.
in this print of the game on the back, it also says 96, 97. So I sent this in. I got this on eBay, about a year and a half ago, maybe. It was pretty busted up. So the 80, like, I'm not surprised by, but
The
I
80
just
is a
didn't know
great
what.
grade in a. Like, 80 is a great grade in a big box game.
Yeah. So I have another one copy of it now that I think will easily clear an 85. Now knowing what I know, but I can show you real quick.
PC is greater than Turtles. Yeah, I know, buddy, but I don't have any PC. And once VGA returns my PC games, we will have PC games for 3 days.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've got a few more. Like I've got a Doom shareware at VGA right now. A game
Nice.
called Chasm the Rift, which was a 90s shooter, and then another copy of Shadow Warrior. But yeah, so like this is one. So this is actually the first print. You can see the registers on
Oh, nice.
the other side. I think
I think I have the. I think I have the. Oh, I sent it into CAS. I think I have the game inside of that. The game inside of that version. I think I have that, and I sent that. Oh God, that's mint too.
Yes,
Oh, holy shit! Oh
I
man,
paid a lot for it, but
show me some Quake. Oh God, it's so nice.
and this one has the tube seal, right, or whatever the overlap, right? So the second
Oh,
print
that's so pretty.
the second print copies of Quake that I've seen them with the tube seal and with like a normal three seam seal.
That's
so,
insane, dude. That is congratulations. That is a huge.
Thanks.
More turtles for you. Here's another April.
More babes.
And to go along with April, there's another April. Purple and orange.
You gonna
Again,
bust
really
those out
minty cards.
after I sign off? You gonna bust those out or what?
Oh, I mean, I've definitely had the urge to play with a lot of these. I used to play with my brother's turtles, and here's another wacky action one. I love the wacky action line. Again, these are 1989s. These were one of the. This was like the third series, I think, of turtles, and just a really, really cool one that nobody seems to like really know about. And that's why I say you can get perfect condition for copies of these for maybe even $800 at most, and it's like. These are 1989. These are almost as old as our video games.
Yeah. I mean, they're older than a lot of the ones I'm showing right now.
Yeah. I mean, look. Let's see. There.
Before I was born, actually, too.
1980. Well, wow, that's crazy. Don't tell me that, bro.
I'm 1990. So.
Yeah, don't tell me that. Just lie to me. Tell me you're 85 at least. That's my little brother's age.
Okay, I'll lie to you.
He's just making me feel old. Like I'm down this the old Alki over here.
No, it's good. It's good to have a variety of people on the stream. There's much older collectors, I imagine too.
No, but actually, here's something I want to touch on really, really quickly. The fact that you're a big collector, and you are 30.
I'll be 32 in a couple weeks.
Oh my God, you're a baby. You are not old enough to really have gone through the first iteration of the stuff you're collecting. I mean, you played the stuff well afterwards, and yet you're a big collector. The idea that this stuff ends with a certain generation, a lot of people use the Elvis argument to me. Like the Elvis argument is like, well, people who grew up with Elvis are dying off, so there's no more market for Elvis. Well, here's the thing. When we die off, knock on wood, when we go, Mario, Zelda, and Mega Man will still be coming out with new hits. And when you are a collector, you want to go back to the first one, you want to go back to the second one, you want to go back to the roots. This stuff is going to be so important to future generations who haven't even been born yet. So with that, please take it away.
No, I hope you're right, and you're right. So like for me, it started with a couple of games. Like so, I'll pull one out I haven't graded yet. So this is one that we Dark Forces, right? Star Wars. This is
nice. Star Wars, yeah. Free strategy guide.
But like
dude, that's awesome.
This started it for me. So I was like 5 or 6, and my uncle was playing this, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, like shooting people in a game and stuff. And so I became obsessed with those shooters, and then like Redneck Rampage.
That's an amazing set right there, by the way. That's another example of why I collect, is the ones that come with strategy guides, like VHS, the games that come with VHS, games comes with like accessories, like that shit is the coolest version. If you can get a version of something that comes with a peripheral, like that's an awesome thing. Like to me, that is the best. Your three pack is making me like I'm gonna dream about it tonight.
I'm glad somebody thinks it's cool, because for the longest time I didn't know if anybody would actually.
That's the thing is you won't get any sellers you won't get any buyers lining up for it. But when the right buyer comes along and recognize, and in the future these pieces are going to be massive. But right now the market's thin and the education level's still young. Yeah, show that shit again.
I
You
can't
got to
even
back up,
remember.
man. You got to show the whole thing.
There we go.
That is
Yeah,
so
so
hot.
I'm trying to hunt these down now on their own as individuals, but
I mean, here, let me
yeah,
show my big box just for anybody who doesn't. I mean, that's an even better version. But any of this big box stuff, like there's such beautiful displays.
they're so yeah they look so good when you put them on the wall. You just can't beat it.
That's a VG 8, an AFA 80. Unreal, unreal.
Wait,
I
wait,
like.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so I got one more left. This is I'd say probably the biggest one for last. Find it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Um, so this one is interesting, and for people who are interested, there's some cool.
Oh
I can
yes,
share what I learned. So this is a Doom 2, 85 plus. It's actually not an incredibly rare game like to find, but it's a really you want to find it in good condition. And
really popular. Really, really popular.
what's interesting about this game that I learned as I was looking for it is that there are different versions of it, right? There's a 3.5-inch floppy, and there's this CD version. And some people think that the CD version came out later, which this is a CD version, MS-DOS, IBM. But I don't think that's actually true. And from what I've talked to other collectors, Doom 2 came out on 3.5-inch and disc on I think it was like in October of 95, 94, one of those. And I think it was 94. And so there are versions of Doom 2 so this is a CD copy. There are versions that are CD copies that will say made for Windows 95, and that's a later print, right? But this version is a first print, as far as I know. This information is hard to source. That released on around the same time as the 3.5-inch floppy version, and that makes sense because there were CD games out at that time. So
Now, do you think? I'm curious. Do you think that that VGA knows whether it's first print or not?
no, and I've been told to write that stuff on here. When I sent some of this stuff in, so I'm going to be real with y'all because I know people like to pretend they're experts, or some people like to think they're like. I learned a lot of this stuff as I sent this stuff in too. I've paid for later editions of game like that Quake, right? I bought that thinking that was a first print just because I didn't know any better. And so when I sent this in, I had an idea that was the case, but I didn't have confirmation. And so now I kind of know that that's true. But
And that's kind of
I
the
don't
thing
think
about collecting in general is you're hunting, right? You're taking some risks. Like you're throwing your line out, and sometimes you come back with nothing, and sometimes you come back with a grail.
yeah.
So
So like I'm really happy. I've got a nice shareware copy of Doom 1 at VGA. I don't think I'll ever be a big enough player to own the mail away copy of the first Doom, but you never know.
I mean that's probably numbered in the 110.
Probably, yeah.
That's got to be super rare. This one's not super rare, but this is rare enough.
What
Cool,
is it?
cool.
I mean, what's he
This
dressed
is
as?
this is a TD Toss and Leo. A nice
Oh, he's so
nice
hard.
card, nice bubble, unpunched hang tab. Some of the things you look for in these. This would be I have no idea what this one is, actually. This is a different series, so it's this series is the Sewer Sports All-Star Series.
Dude, they had some
And
cool.
yeah,
That's
so I
awesome.
have one of these. I think it's Michelangelo or Raphael. He's wearing Michael Jordan's 23 jersey.
Okay. Oh yeah,
I
I think
think
I saw that the other day.
I
Yeah.
think it's over there, but I don't know who I don't know who Leo's supposed to be necessarily, but one of them's supposed to be Michael Jordan, which I think is pretty cool. This one was made in 1991 by Mirage Studios, of course, who made everything. And the funny thing that a lot of people don't know, a lot of the stuff that I actually probably the first stuff I started. Where is the date on here? Do you see it? It
Let's
was
see.
here. Oh, 91. There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
91 planets. So Mirage Studios, who created Turtles and who did all the production and everything, they had all of this stuff. They had at least one copy of everything in their quote-unquote vault, right?
Mm.
A couple of years ago, they started auctioning it off on eBay. And I
Okay.
just randomly stumbled into it. When I stumbled into it, they were still giving out the certificates with everything you bought that said it came from Mirage Studios, which is really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
was buying like basically everything that they were auctioning, even the stupidest of stuff, because like it's from Mirage Studios, and like no matter how much it was worth, I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Before I
And you get
started
the
buying,
POA,
you get
right?
you get a certificate that says,
Yeah.
but apparently when they first started doing this, those certificates were hand signed by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman.
Did any of the ones you get, were they signed by them? No.
They were signed, but they were reproductions. Like they were computerized. You know, they were
Yeah.
printed. They weren't hand signed. So, but I heard that the first set of stuff that they auctioned off, and I was so upset because I missed this whole era. But like at the same time, I got a bunch of stuff from them that like probably shouldn't exist, and I don't know. You know, a lot of it's probably worthless, but like I got just this. I got the most random Turtles memorabilia. I got this like prototype Turtles head that was supposed to be like a thermos, but it was just the head, and I'm pretty sure it never came to market. So it's just like, how do you even put a price on shit like that? But I just thought it was cool. So this is the last one from this box, by the way. This is the Wacky Action Splinter.
Oh, that's
He
what's he doing?
He does like some kind of scoot on his
He was
stomach or
part.
something.
Nice. That's pretty awesome.
I
So do you
thought
have
it's
the
really
wacky
cool.
action set now?
Most of it, and that's what I'm saying. So I got online, and I did got on a Whatnot stream one night, just randomly, and I spent a couple $100, and I got like basically the whole Wacky Action line or most of it. Like, where can you do that in games anywhere right now? And I'm not saying anything bad about games because obviously I love games even more than this stuff. I just can't afford games right now because I'm
Right.
still paying off so many bills, right?
Yeah, and that time's kind of passed. So maybe already, like the figures are kind of where that's
Well,
where that's.
I would definitely, I still am buying games. I mean, I probably spent $10,000 this week on games, but like, you know, I can't stop myself. I found something that I'm going to share with you guys. It's absolutely epic. And it ate up more money than I wanted to this week, but it's so epic. I'll share it when it comes.
Okay, right on,
So,
right on. So we looked at Quake, we looked at Doom 2, we looked at System Shock, Redneck Rampage. So I guess let me see if I have the yes. I'll show you the one they rejected. So
oh yeah,
this is a real bummer because this is like my favorite out of all of the '90s shooters is Blood. A lot of people don't even really know about it. There's actually a refusal report, which is interesting. We can bust that out if we want.
yeah. It doesn't say much.
But I kind of wondered if it was a reseal after I had sent it in, and what
Sure.
I was able to kind of figure out the provenance of it. And with these '90s PC games, or not just '90s, '80s, and '90s, a lot of stores would because the game it's a black box. You can see it hasn't been opened. A lot of these PC games had been opened and then they had a store reseal put on it, right? And so I'm wondering so they also included this case, which I checked the box for, which they didn't charge me extra for, like it said. So maybe that was them making good on upcharging me for the game.
But to me, they always charge me for the sliding bottom case too.
They didn't charge me for this, so
It's an option. It's an option on your refusal. Do you want to
well,
refuse it?
I checked the option, but I'm guessing because they upcharged me on a game that was refused, maybe I don't know. They don't tell me enough.
I was going to say because they typically do charge me for that. It doesn't even matter if you've paid for like archival and you don't get it, but
Yeah, so it said this is the refusal report, right? You can see that.
up
Seal
higher,
cannot be authenticated as factory.
higher and back,
Yeah. Oh, higher and back. There we go.
higher and back. There you go. Awesome. Item blood. This item was refused for the following reasons: not be authenticated as factory. It's backwards, but I can read it.
Yeah, seal cannot be authenticated as factory original. Seal type differs from authentic examples. Top flap hinge has pressing, which I don't see that. I think they use that as like you can see it's pretty
Actually, that looks pretty factory sealed to me.
And I'm pretty sure it's a store resale because I have an idea of where this came from. But what you will see, so people can learn from my
That's a
mistake.
hell of a reseal, though. That's a really nice reseal.
Got vent holes. Like I don't. It may actually. I've heard other people in the PC.
I would not open that, dude. I would not
I'm not.
open
I'm
that.
not. And this game in mint condition is an $800 to $1,000 CIB. That's about what I paid for.
Oh my god, that's a massive loss for you then.
It is, but I can always sell it as a CIB, and because I got a good deal on this, like I'll make my money back. But this game is like like Mega Man.
I would not do any. If I were you, I'd sit on that game.
I am, and I have another copy of it coming. I've got a copy in that 3-pack with the Duke Nukem 3D. So
it does look crispy. It looks very crispy. It looks. The thing is, the seal doesn't look like a seal that most stores could do back in the day.
It doesn't. And here's the thing, though. Most of the other copies that have been authenticated or that I know to be legit have the tube seal, just like Doom 2 has. That I don't know if you can see that strip down the middle.
It is a vertical overlap down the back. Oh, dude, that is an authentic game. Do not open that.
No, mine does not have the vertical overlap.
Oh, yours doesn't have the vertical. No, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, though.
Right. So I'm keeping it. I mean, I love Blood. Like it's my favorite PC game. It's just a shame because like this was so.
How many seams he was asking? I saw top and bottom.
It's got 2, so that might actually be it's top and bottom, left and right, which is also Let's see, there's one there.
I mean, it's happened before. They've had games that are 2-side seams. It's not common.
And I don't blame them. I'm just more bummed that I just like if anybody out there has a Blood, don't try to hold me hostage.
That was a vertical overlap. A vertical overlap is a telltale sign that it's a real seal.
Or I'll send it into CAS, see what they think. They might not even know.
I mean, if AFA doesn't know, if VGA doesn't know, they might not know either. But I mean, the question is, does VGA not know, or do they?
Okay,
do they know? Do they know, or do they just not want to authenticate it? Right.
I think it could very well be that because like there are vent holes on this thing, and maybe there have been some resales with vent holes, but
not common for a resealer though.
Yeah.
Why would you put vent holes on a reseal?
Yeah, I don't know. Stores, so I have an idea of where this came from, and I think it came from a store that sold. I mean, obviously a bunch of PC games, but I've seen other games from that. I think it was from like a store in California back in the day.
Okay. Well,
and I've seen other games. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know. I wouldn't open it though. VG Green, your WADA said the same thing. WADA said VG said the third party. I mean, I've had WADA turn down games of mine that they told me that they think might have been real, but they didn't have any evidence to back it up, so they wouldn't authenticate it. And they literally said, like, we can't put our name on this. But like, I had the same game authenticated by VGA, and VGA's had 20 extra years of doing this. So even if they're not as good of an authority as WADA, they've had much more experience than WADA. So
yeah, it's a bummer.
This is nasty. Now this is
okay.
This is one of those big things that I bought this week that I was telling you about. Not the biggest one, not the one that I really was telling you about, but
okay.
This is a really, really nice copy of this. Obviously, I have a thing for this.
Oh, yeah. Is that the Maximum Carnage?
Another sealed Maximum Carnage set. I could not, when I came across this one, it was almost as nice as the one I have up there, maybe as nice, and I could not turn down another opportunity. Let me open it up. I got to open this. I got to see it,
Was it like a private seller or something you found?
Yeah, it was some guy who, came to me who was looking to get a valuation on it, and, I told him what he could get on the market or whatever, and he wanted to go to a collector who was excited about it, and I was a collector that was super. I love this. This is probably my favorite set to collect. I love, like everyone else, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is also like one of the best-selling comic genres of all time, like across all the different, whatever, and has probably the most loyal following of any of the comics that I know of. And this is probably like, to me, this has got to be like, for me, this is the Spider-Man Holy Grail because it contains a sealed game along with a comic book, a certificate of authenticity, and was only sold on QVC. So, like,
Oh, okay.
who shopped on QVC? People's grandmas. The only reason why any of these are still sealed is because someone's grandma forgot to give it to them at Christmas, and it ended up being found, unfortunately, when they pass away. That's how
Yeah.
most of this stuff is uncovered. And for something like that, oh my God, this is so minty.
Did the
Oh
guy
my
tell
God.
you this came from his grandma? Do you have the provenance?
He said he was the first. He said he was the first. He said he was the only owner.
Okay. Okay.
So I didn't ask you. That's kind of a personal question to ask. When it's
Yeah.
offered, I love to hear it. I love to hear stories, not necessarily about someone's grandma passing. That's horrible, but I love to hear stories about where this stuff came from. And look at how minty this is. Oh my God.
Artwork is
Oh
so sick too, because it's not like something you would see at the time where they'd have enough confidence to just put like the pattern on the box,
Oh my God, this is so awesome, and it's so hard to find these in good condition. They're usually crumpled somewhere. This is possibly as good as the one that I have up on the shelf that got a VGA 85. A VGA 85 in a box this size, that's unreal.
Yeah, for
Unreal
sure.
at 85.
Yeah, I don't know. Could it be an 85 plus, or do you see any things that might
There,
dock it?
I don't even wanna like, if it
Yeah,
may be, but I don't like to, when I'm playing blackjack, I always ask for a 20 instead of a 21 because I always figure a 20 is a winning hand. And if I don't get my 20, I'll take a 21, of course. But like, if I go to 22, then I have no room for error there.
yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. But
So,
that's pretty sick. So are you going to keep them both, you think?
uh, I, I have another one in grading right now too. So I've got four.
You're cornering the market.
I'm
Nice.
not trying to. I can't control myself. If someone offers me one, if you offer me a mint Maxim card set, I'm probably gonna buy it. Like I'd buy another one. Like I'm gonna line them up when I'm done, and it's just gonna be the sickest sight ever. Like
Oh, yeah. That'll be cool. So
yeah.
that is the big purchase you were talking about, or there's another big one
No,
coming?
that's not the big one.
Okay.
That's a fun one. That is a big one, but it's not the biggest one from this week. The
Okay.
crazy one. I want to see it first. I want to verify it. I want to check it out before I show it off. And I haven't even gotten it yet. So,
Yeah. Okay. No, I hear you.
but
Are you
it's
going to keep
coming.
going? I got a few more things.
That was the last one I had. I mean, I skipped one or two of the turtles because I didn't want people to get bored.
Okay. No, I mean I'm always interested, but
Do you have
I've
more?
got what's that?
Do you have more?
I've got a couple things. Yeah, I've got at least one thing that came today, and then if y'all want to see some other stuff, I can pull it up, or we can do it another time.
Absolutely.
So this, I'm just pulling this out of the box. This is a really interesting one. I had assumed this from I learned this from Rare's Market. I already knew that there was a version of it that had. So this is Lego Island, right? This is a super popular game for people in my kind of growing up. I grew
Age
up
group.
playing this on
Your
PC.
age group. Just say it, your age group.
I forgot the word. Yeah, age group. And so
Well,
there are.
because you're just being polite because you know that I'm in a different age group that's much ancient.
I just don't know if you will appreciate it in the same way. But so this game has a ton of different versions of it, and you rarely ever see the version of it, the first print that has the mini Lego figure of it within it. And so just randomly, like I don't think this is a reseal. It doesn't have any signs of it. It's a 3 seal. It looks like some of the other versions of this picture I've seen online. But this popped up for $70, $79 on eBay. There was two of them on I think Saturday or
Amazing.
Sunday morning. And like the minifigure alone, Lego collectors like really get into. There was two of them. Yeah, Big Box is commenting on it. I only bought one of them. Like I just buy for myself usually. But like even if this is a reseal, like I paid more for sealed versions of the non-first print of this, so it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. But for people who kind of know that like, this is a pretty rare version of
Yeah,
it.
hell yeah, that game was sick. So I've never seen it before in my life, but I can tell it looks like a nice game to pick up. For
It was like
$80, I would have bought that too.
it was like GTA for 7-year-olds. Like you got a big Lego island that you can run around on and stuff.
That's
Um,
confirmed the first print you have there.
so rares, I did see a version of this that had the sticker with the figure of it. I almost wondered if the sticker version came first because they forgot to print on the box or something. But I don't know. I don't know what you know.
Very tough with the figure. Yeah, I mean, dude, that looks either way, it looks amazing. Nice grab. That's pretty. I mean, your raw games are so pretty.
Thanks, dear. I have so many shoddy ones too that I'm not showing that are in bins. I'm
Oh,
just showing
cool. I mean,
right now.
I'm trying to
Um,
think. I don't think I have anything raw right now. Well, I do have a couple raws, but nothing worth showing.
but
Well,
yeah, that's it for like new stuff. I've got a couple things that people who have seen my feed have already seen, but I can show some off if you have a little bit more time. There's just one or two that I really am like proud of getting.
yeah, show 'em.
So this one, I got super lucky with this one. This, I don't want to say it's the same level of rarity as the first, like the mail away Doom or anything like that, but I've only seen a couple of. I only know of one other person with this who was in the chat earlier. I'm sure there are a couple others, but so this is I've got it wrapped pretty heavily. Something that I never thought I would own. Sometimes you just get lucky with certain things. And for me, I don't play in the deep end as much as some other people would. My budget caps out, pretty much around a much lower amount than I imagine some of the other games y'all have. But
I mean, mine's capped out entirely right now, so I get. I feel you.
so this one is I posted about the other day, but this is the original Fallout. This is just like a huge game. Like this is like one of the. I mean, if anybody knows Fallout, but like this is like
There was one of those on a different version of that on eBay tonight, maybe.
so there's different prints of this. This is the first print. There's a second print that has RPG of the year on it.
One with a girl on it, maybe.
There are other Fallout games, but Fallout
Okay.
1, like, I mean, you
Okay.
rarely ever
This was a
see.
different Fallout game. Then I don't know the series very well. I just know it's a big series.
Yeah, like I don't even know. Like I wouldn't even know how to price something like this. But somebody posted on. It was just crazy. Somebody posted on our game collecting of all places on Reddit that they had found this at a I still have the sticker. I took it off for $4.99 in Canada at a mom and pop thrift store. They didn't know what it was.
Unreal.
So he bought it. He was not a sealed collector. He was a flipper, shirts, and all that kind of stuff. And he posted it, and he got all these comments from people telling him to open it and that it wasn't, it's not worth that much. And like I just messaged him like, hey, what do you want for this? Or and we looked at price charting and last sold. So not only is this like impossible
That's
to
so
find,
funny.
I got
That's
it for
so
like a
funny. He
deal.
was getting, these trolls were trolling you. That's why I tell people not to go on Facebook. People troll you. You tell them to open it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. All sorts of
What a
games.
tragedy that would be to open that thing. A tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, and like legitimately, like I mean,
That's
rares. I mean, other
ridiculous.
people can tell you how hard this one is to find. But to me, I love the series. So like I have all the other ones. Yeah, Big Box is saying pretty sure it's 4K min. And so I think Sealed Games 44 just posted a VGA copy of this that he had gotten back the other day. But that copy and this copy are the only ones that I even know of out there.
Oh, the game collecting thing, that is a joke. I didn't even think people from here like actually follow that shit. I mean,
Um,
I've seen the most ridiculous posts on that thing. I haven't looked at that Reddit section for over a year now.
yeah, I mean, it's not a place for seal collectors, that's for
No,
sure.
not at all. Not at all. Those people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
But yeah, I know it's getting kind of late here too. But like that, I think that's mainly it for what I got today. I've got some figures too, but I know it's kind of getting late and people are dropping off too. So
Yeah, I think people are dropping off, and it is late. But I would love to do another maybe next week or something. Like let's go and look through the stuff that's back there to you, like back
oh,
behind you. I want to see all that stuff. Maybe not tonight, but I want to see it. So,
a lot
um,
of that's actually just CIB stuff. On the other side, I've got my sealed stuff, but
okay. So
but yeah,
over
sometime
which way?
yeah,
That way?
over here
Oh,
I'm pointing somewhere. But yeah, anytime you want to just chat about games or whatever, I'm totally down.
yeah. No, this is super good. I hope people tune into this because honestly, there's a lot of knowledge drops. Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
for
mostly
sure.
you. I think I may have shared one or two, but like most of your stuff. So I'm happy that So hopefully this will reach people because PC collecting the biggest problem to entry, the barrier to entry, is that you really just don't know anything about PC stuff, and there's no guides. Obviously, there's no WADA, so it's just VGA. Now CAS, hopefully, but there's no knowledge out there, and people really, really are timid to share anything. I don't know if it's that they worry that you're going to soak up all their good shit, or whether it's like, I mean, that's typically why people don't like to share.
Yeah.
They're worried that you're going to take their goodies.
Yeah, that goes back to kind of what I was saying at the beginning about just like other hobbies being less guarded with the knowledge. But
Supportive,
yeah,
yeah.
teaching stuff, I'm happy to help it if people got questions. But yeah, I've learned the hard way with a lot of this stuff, and everybody else that I've talked to in the little PC collecting niche is like super helpful and friendly, and
But
people
they're
help each
kind of
other.
all the same as you, I think. I mean, I've been the same way. I've been buying, the stuff that I love. I bought, one of my favorites is King's Quest. So I bought King's Quest, and I bought Space Quest, and then I see different versions come out. I buy those, and then I bought three different versions of Leisure Suit Larry 1.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So, and I'm finally, well, that's one of the things I'm getting back. I won't spoil it, but like I've got a lot of interesting, really fun games coming back. So, next week, hopefully next week, it's going to be this Friday is going to be 2 weeks since they emailed me the grades.
You should get it back soon. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks, but turn around from when I got the grades. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, dude. If they get every time I've dealt with them, every single time in the past, the day after they email me the grades, or the same day they ship it out.
Yeah.
That's insane. Hire some more people. Like seriously, it's a recession. Like put some people to work. Like
Yeah, I wouldn't know because this was my first time with them, and it was just like, what the hell is this taking so long? I paid you extra.
unbelievable. It literally is the worst experience from start to finish that you could possibly imagine with a grading company.
Yeah.
Paper forms, rebilling, like, charging refusals, not getting any reimbursement, like damage, whatever. And then 10 months later, you get your grades, and then it takes 2 to 3 weeks to actually get the games.
Yeah, or they refuse it and then they upcharge you for the bigger box
And then they
size.
upcharge you. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have the games that I had coming back, I'd be like too pissed to enjoy it. But I've got some really cool games coming back that I'm excited about getting. So
Yeah,
hopefully I get to
I'm
share
super
those.
excited to see it. Yeah, and I guess too, like just for anybody who is interested in PC stuff too, one of the best like resources I found. Funnily enough, I don't think the guy is about grading at all. There's a YouTube video by a guy called, I think it's the Old School PC or something like that. It's about a 30-minute video where he goes into painstaking detail on the different types of seals that were from the 80s to the 90s and all the methods. And so I learned a lot about what could be a reseal and what might not be from that video. And you know, for anybody else who's interested, that I would start there because that's
What is it again?
it's kind of hard to find, but I think that the YouTuber is
His name
the
is
old
Jim
oh
Leonard.
there you go. Yeah.
I've never seen it, so I'm gonna look it up right now, and then I'll tell you guys how hard it is to find.
Yeah, I
Just
think
look
he's
up
got like
Jim Letter.
11,000 subscribers. Type in like authentic PC sealed games or something like that, and
Okay,
oh,
PC
I think
games.
it might actually say shrink. I think he calls it. Okay, there more people are. Yeah, see, there's way smarter people that know more about this stuff than I do.
What is it? What's it called?
I forget what he called it. Something about shrink, PC shrink wrap. But the old school PC, I think, is the name of the channel.
Old school PC.
Oh, it's Rare just saying it's pinned in the big box PC Facebook group.
100 PC games from the 90s. Is
Mm,
that it?
that's not it, but I can shoot you a DM with it later or whatever. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it was
send it
really
to me because if it's, I'll watch if it's that good. I'll share it out to everyone else. I mean, listen. I mean, I'm looking. This caught my eye.
it's hard to find. Yeah,
That little scene caught
oh,
my
there you
eye.
go.
Easy Suit
Yeah,
Larry, man. Lefties.
classic.
Dude, I geek out when it comes to like the old Sierra stuff because that shit was done before you could do like continuous graphics. I mean, look at that shit. That's VGA was a very good what is a very what like well, I don't even remember what it stands for. Video graphical whatever. It was like 240 pixels or something. Like
There we go. Big Box posted the link in the. There we go.
the old school PC.
Yeah,
The
and I
old
think yeah, it's like a 30-minute
school
video. So if you can filter by videos that are longer than 20 minutes, and that'll
11.6 thousand subscribers.
yeah, that's him.
And what's the video?
It's something about PC shrink wrap. It's like 30 minutes. He's like
Authentic or fake identifying big box
that's it.
computer shrink.
That's it. Yeah,
Oh wow.
it's very high quality production on the video.
Really?
Yeah. Anyways,
Cool. Well, thank you for
yeah,
that too. You're just
yeah.
dropping knowledge bombs all over the place. So if you can find it from Googling, from YouTube Googling, in case you're watching this later and you want to find it, the old school SKOOL PC, all one word, the old school PC, and then I'll take you to his channel, and then the title is Authentic or Fake. Could be a number of other things he's talking about, but then he goes on to say identifying big box computer game shrink wrap.
Yeah, I after watching that, I went back through my bins in my collection. I was like, oh, I just found three things that are resealed. Like, great. Like, but like I did, like you don't even know that when you're buying.
At least you saved on the VGA fees.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got at least two coming back out of my like 60 or so games that are reseals. So we'll see.
Oh, okay.
They weren't deal breakers for me. The stuff that I needed to do well did well. Um, hopefully it arrives unbroken like this Carbon San Diego from last time. But we'll pray for like safe landings.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, but yeah,
So
if you want to talk PC stuff or whatever, I'm not just into PC, but I think that's kind of like my biggest passions. But
Well,
yeah,
when I get my PC stuff back, if I get my stuff PC back in a week, let's go live and you can tell me what you know about it because honestly, you probably know more than I do. So
it may be earlier than I know, but
you know what? Maybe we can get Rares to jump in with us, so we could do a three-way on new PC games that I'm going to get because I'm sure he could
this would
school
be
both of
awesome.
us.
Yeah, I would love to watch a stream with you and him talking about that stuff.
I mean, I would love to watch a stream with you and him talking about that stuff. So that would be even better. So
Right on. So
let's try and set it up.
I will leave just by saying, if anybody has a sealed copy of Blood by itself, hit me up. I am looking for that one. But yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thanks, buddy. We actually got back up to 9 or 10, so we started dwindling, and then we raised back up, and we'll leave on a high note. But thank you guys for joining. If you are watching back afterwards, we don't only love PC games. I don't only love Turtles. I don't only love Maximum Carnage, even though I seem to keep buying that. We love a lot of stuff, so come talk to us. We're both happy to help And if we don't know the answer, I'll refer you to Austin. Austin will refer you to Rares, and
Or big
and
box.
we'll figure it out one way or another. But we're always happy to help, and that's part of being the network. Is that if I don't have the answers, I'll find someone who does for you, or at least pass you along to someone who might know better than me.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, well said.
So thanks, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by, and let's do this again soon.
Right on. Later,
All
y'all.
right. Peace.